subjects. In the last class, we discussed about how to apply an ideal gas equation for a thermodynamic process. So finally we came up with an equation that is P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, right? So this is the equation which we need to apply for a thermodynamic process. Okay, so now let us apply this ideal gas equation for different processes. The first one is constant volume process. Okay, and this process is also known as isochoric process or isometric process. Okay, let us understand with the help of a system. First, suppose there is a system, piston cylinder arrangement, there is gas inside. Okay, and I am supplying some heat with the help of any burner. Okay, and what happens to the parameters of thermodynamics like pressure, volume, temperatures? Okay, see, at constant volume will be constant. At constant volume, when we supply heat, what happens to pressure and temperatures of the system? Okay, at constant volume we are supplying heat, so what happens? Pressure and temperature. Pressure generally increases, again temperature also increases. Okay, so you can understand in PV diagram, at constant volume, see, volume is on x-axis. Okay, so constant volume means it will be a vertical line. So you are supplying heat means definitely pressure is gonna increases. Okay, so system is going from state 1 to the state 2 at constant volume. That means your heat is adding. Okay, pressure may decreases and temperature may decreases, but that is not when heat is adding, but when heat is rejecting from the system. If you reject heat from the system, then obviously pressure and temperature is going to decreases. Okay, pressure and temperatures are pressure is increasing means heat is adding to the system, and pressure is decreasing at constant volume means heat is rejecting. Okay, so let us apply the same equation to the constant volume process. So P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, where volume is equal to constant. Volume is equal to constant, so definitely P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2. So this is the equation for constant volume process. Okay, next, constant pressure process. This can also be known as isobaric process. This is also known as isobaric process, and here it is constant pressure. So P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. Here pressure is constant means P1 is equal to P2. So P1 and P2 gets cancelled. So we left with V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. So this is the equation for constant pressure process. Let us understand with the help of PV diagram. You are supplying heat to the system now at constant pressure. When we are supplying heat to the system there is gas inside. Okay, at constant pressure. So definitely volume gonna increase. Volume is going to increase. If you reject heat from the system, definitely volume is going to decrease. And this is for heat addition, and this is for heat rejection. Understand? So constant pressure process, ideal gas equation would be like V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. Alright, pressure is constant, it is a horizontal. In constant volume process, it is vertical line. Okay, next, isothermal process. Isothermal process means constant temperature process. P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, where T1 is equal to T2 is equal to constant. So T1 and T2 gets cancelled, we left with P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. This is ideal gas equation for isothermal process. Okay, let us understand in PV diagram. See, the curves are like a rectangular hyperbola. The system is changing its state from state 1 to state 2 isothermally. Okay, that means both pressure and volume are going to change. Okay, they may increase. See, when pressure is increasing and volume is decreasing, and in this process, this is also isothermal line. These are isothermal lines, but here the process is going from 1 to 2, and here process is going from A to B. This 1 to 2 is isothermal compression. Okay, and this is isothermal expansion. Okay, in compression process, definitely volume is going to decrease and pressure is going to increase, and in expansion process, pressure is decreasing and volume is increasing. Okay, and this is isothermal process. Now the next process is adiabatic process. This process is also known as isentropic process. This is also known as isentropic process, and the ideal gas condition for this adiabatic process is PV power gamma is equal to constant. I am not interested in deriving this PV power gamma is equal to constant. Okay, but for applying thermodynamic processes in adiabatic process, I will use this equation. PV power gamma is equal to constant. In PV diagram, let us understand adiabatic process. The system is undergoing a process from state 1 to state 2, and in another case, the system is undergoing the adiabatic process from state A to state B. Can you see the difference between these two processes? In the first case, the volume is decreasing and pressure is increasing, and in second case, volume is increasing and pressure is decreasing. Okay, that means in adiabatic process, when pressure is increasing, okay, that means it is compression process. Pressure is increasing and volume is decreasing. And here pressure is decreasing and volume is going to increase, means it is an expansion process. Adiabatic expansion, better right? Adiabatic expansion, adiabatic compression. Okay, adiabatic means definitely it is there will be no heat transfer between the system and surroundings. Okay, and Arrhenius equation is PV per gamma is equal to constant. Okay, where gamma is adiabatic index, and this can be written as the ratio of specific heats at constant pressure and at constant volume. Gamma is equal to Cp by Cv. Okay, and this gamma is different for different gases like monoatomic gas, diatomic gas, triatomic gas. In chemistry we have already learned them. Gamma generally is a function of degree of freedom of gas. Gamma is the function of degree of freedom of the gas. Okay, and this degree of freedom is different for different gases. For, let us say, for monoatomic gases, degree of freedom, DOF I am taking, degree of freedom is equal to 3. So in that case gamma will become, gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by 3. That means 5 by 3, and it becomes 1.67. For diatomic gas, what are monoatomic gases? Helium, neon, argon, krypton, like this. Okay, for diatomic gases, degree of freedom for this gas is 5. And what are diatomic gases? O2, N2, CO, etc. Okay, and let's see the gamma value. 1 plus 2 by 5, so this becomes 7 by 5. So what is 7 by 5? 1.4. Okay, and for triatomic gases, what are triatomic gases? O3, CO2, NO2, etc. So the degree of freedom for triatomic gases is equal to 7. So gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by 7, that is equal to 9 by 7. So this becomes 1.28. Okay, so these are the gamma values for different gases. Okay, gamma directly depends upon the degree of freedom of the gas. Okay, for monoatomic gases it is 1.67, for diatomic gases it is 1.4, for triatomic gases it is 1.28. Alright, degree of freedom is nothing but, degree of freedom is nothing but it is the minimum number of variables required to define a gas. DOF means minimum number of variables required. Okay, minimum number of variables required to define a gas. Okay, and here in adiabatic process we have three relations. They are very important. That is P1 V1 power gamma is equal to P2 V2 power gamma. This is equation 1. This is very important. The same way T1 V1 power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 power gamma minus 1. This is equation 2. And finally T1 by T2 is equal to P1 by P2 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma, and this is equation number 3. Okay, these are adiabatic relations. These are very important in gas power cycles, where with the help of these three equations we will derive the thermal efficiency of that power cycle. Okay.